high school site council meeting for February. Our objective tonight is to gain an understanding of the WASC accreditation process that the school is currently going through and provide an opportunity for parent feedback into that process. So our agenda tonight is we'll do some quick introductions. We'll talk about an overview of the WASC process. We'll discuss some of the goals we've been working on over the past 6 years as we're working towards accreditation. We'll look at the student and parent survey results and then provide an opportunity for parent feedback, then an opportunity for parents to actually get involved in the process. And we'll follow that up with a Q&A. So I'm joined by one of our teachers tonight. My name is Brian Shum. I'm the Associate Principal of Curriculum Instruction here at Mountain House High School. And we do have one of our teachers with us. Lauren Savage joins us from the Science Department. And we're just going to kick it off here. I'm going to ask her the question, we're going to talk all about WASC tonight. One of the goals we've been working on over the past couple of years is to strengthen and expand our instructional strategies to meet the learning needs of all students, and especially those with significant learning gaps. So, Lauren, what's one thing that you've done as a teacher in the classroom or as your department to work towards that goal?
Yeah, so I liked using assessments in my classroom just to figure out where my kids are, and then pull students in to success to get them to remediate any deficiencies they have in their learning. And so one of the things we've been talking a lot about with WASC in the past few years with Good First Teaching Strategies is looking at those bottom 20% of kids in our classes and seeing how can we improve their outcomes in class. And so success is one way I found to really pull those kids in, get them help, and improve their skills.
Thanks, Lauren. So Lauren's speaking a lot to the goals we've been working on. She's using the term 20%, and those are the kids who are performing at the lower 20% of our student population. We have a really high performing student population overall. We get high test scores overall. But we know within that there are certain students who don't meet and don't learn on the same path and the same time frame that others do. So we do a lot of work to support those students. So Lauren's example of how she uses her assessments to identify students who are struggling and then invite them to success sessions for extra support is a great example of how we're supporting that group and working towards that goal. So we're going to move on here. We're talking all about the process. So what this is the Western Association of Schools and Colleges provide oversight and accreditation visits for schools. And currently there's over 5,000 schools that are accredited by them on the West Coast. So their job is to come in, they take a look at what we're doing as a school, they look at our various programs, and they just make sure that we're doing the things that we say we do. So they'll come out, they'll visit, they'll talk to people from all over the school, teachers, classified staff. They'll be talking to our students and parents as well, just to make sure we're all doing the same thing. So just a brief history of where we've gone with accreditation. We had our first initial accreditation when the school opened in September 2014. And then we completed our full self-study report in March 2018. And the reports are about 96 pages long. Anyway, that's how long our report is this year, encompasses lots of things that have to do with the school. So we got a 6-year accreditation with a mid-cycle review in October 2020. So we're hoping for the same thing when the committee comes out to visit this March. We're hoping for the same 6-year accreditation window. So when the committee comes out, they're going to be visiting us on March 4 to 6, coming up here in just a few weeks. We have a committee of 6 educators coming out, and these are educators from other schools around the Bay Area. They come out, they meet with different groups around campus, and the overarching questions they're looking to answer are how well are students learning and achieving, and is the school doing everything possible to support the high achievement and prepare all our students to be college and career ready. So there's several chapters to the report. We provide a progress report where we've been on our goals, a school profile, and then we evaluate our current school program. And based on that information, we identify our strengths and growth areas, which I'm going to share with you tonight, and then develop an action plan. And that's what we'll work on for the next several years. So goal one that we've been working on for the past 6 years is to strengthen and expand our instructional strategies to meet the learning needs of all students. And Lauren was just speaking to that with the work that she's been doing in her classroom with assessments to identify what particular skills and content students are struggling with so she can provide them support and success. So a couple of the objectives tied to that one are to use our consistent good first teaching strategies to close the student achievement gap. And that's the expectation that all teachers are doing certain strategies during the period when there were students that are proven to be high reliability strategies, or they're backed by research to be effective for students. Another objective that we've been working towards is to use rubrics and formative assessments to provide fair, accurate, specifically, and timely feedback to students. And that's exactly what Lauren was speaking to as well. When we're able to provide that feedback and then pull students in real time to support them, that helps with their mastery of the content. Goal number two is has to do with one of the unique aspects of working at Mountain House High School. We offer a daily collaboration period to all of our teachers. So not only do teachers have a daily prep period, they also have a collaboration period where they meet with other teachers from their department who teach the same thing and from the same content area. So we have a structure in place to help guide that collaboration to make sure it's focused. And so our objectives have been tied to that and making sure it's spent on the 4 identified areas, which include instruction, assessment, intervention, and enrichment. And all departments follow what we call the PLC, or professional learning community process, and use the documents provided to document the work that we're doing within those groups. Goal number 3 that we were working towards is specifically linked to the intervention strategies that Lauren kicked us off talking about, and how we're using success to return students to that proficiency and performance. So the objectives for this one are exactly that. They're using success for more targeted interventions for students. We've worked on refining and redoing our retake policy towards achieving student proficiency. Our goal is always to engage parents early in the intervention process as teachers reach out. They work with their counselors and administrators to make sure that they're in the loop and incorporate restorative justice and PBIS practices into the school. And then goal number 4, and it's the last big overarching goal we've been working towards, is to provide various pathways for students to recover academic success or enhance their academic experience. So we have a variety of students for one reason or another, the traditional school day doesn't work for them, or we want to offer additional pathways to enhance their experience. So one of the things linked to that has been to strengthen the CTE pathways. We now have 8 CTE pathways, whereas 8 years ago, we only had a few of those, and we're up to 79% of our students participating in those. So we're proud of that. Another goal has been to expand and improve the alternative education pathway, which we call our EPIC program. Then another was to expand and improve the online and independent study pathway. So these are the goals we've been working towards. All the teachers on site participated on teams when they evaluated our progress towards the goals, and they were able to identify some major student learning needs, and identify both strengths and some growth areas linked to those goals. So several strengths and some of the growth areas that we've identified is a need to increase parent involvement. So we're hoping to get some parent involvement through our meeting tonight. We're going to share a survey where you can provide some input and sit on a focus group and talk to our accreditation committee. We've identified several areas that need better curriculum, including English language development and special education. A need for consistent clarity strategies and work, making sure that we're communicating expectations clearly across the board. And one of the areas for growth was also linked to our advisory program. Students have a weekly advisory period that's focused on social emotional learning, digital literacy skills, and one of the growth areas identified was we need to improve that with more engaging curriculum and increased accountability for students. So those goals get worked into the final WASC report. And one of the other indicators that we've looked at is survey data from the surveys that we sent out to both students and parents last fall. We sent this out last October, and overall, very positive results from the survey. So the student survey mirrored the questions on the parent survey to get both their perspectives. So this is just a sample of 2 of the questions that were asked on there. My students being appropriately challenged by the curriculum, and I'm happy my son or daughter is a student at Mountain House High School. And a lot of the questions go into more detail throughout the survey. So we're going to share a link to all the survey results, but I wanted to share just a few here to show you what some of those questions look like. And the final part of that survey was a chance for parents and students to provide some written response. So these are some of the trends that we identified through analyzing those responses. So one of the things that students believe that Mountain House High School is doing very well is feeling that the success pre and redo retake policy is helpful. They believe there's a positive school environment. Most students feel like there's positive teacher support and help and a variety of classes. And then some of the areas that parents thought were good were communication from teachers and from the office staff, support programs, and opportunities for student, which mirrors the variety of classes. So in addition to the classes, there's a variety of clubs, sports, and extracurricular opportunities. Then we also looked at some of the areas that the high school needs to improve. These were worked into our goal for the current WASC report. Students felt that teacher communication and teaching methods could be improved. Parents echoed that as their number one concern. And there was a lot of talk about consistency among teachers. 2 for students was GATES accessibility. And a lot of this came down to faster release times during the extended lunch, and then concerns about internet and homework, inconsistent internet at times, and overwhelming homework at times. So more of a balance there. And then parents also wrote in about educational programs and curriculum, desirable for more flexible course placement, and some concerns about discipline in the school environment. So all of those things worked into our final goals for the WASC report. So the final thing I want to share tonight was an opportunity for parents to get involved in our WASC focus group. Not only are they listening to students and teachers and administrators here at the school, they also want to hear from our families. So I'm providing a link to a survey here you can click on and fill out. And we'll be hosting a virtual meeting on Monday, March 4th at 5 p.m. And that'll be a chance to talk to our WASC visitors and provide some input and answer some questions they may have for you. So a good opportunity to get further involved if you want to provide more input and more feedback into the process. So I'm sharing the link here. I'm also going to send it out in email following the presentation this evening. And that wraps up our meeting for tonight. So we've gone through an overview of the WASC accreditation process. We've talked about some of our goals and providing an input for parents to provide some feedback into the process. We're going to send these resources out again through an email to follow up with. So that link to the sign up to participate in that focus group will be in that. So we look forward to hopefully seeing you as part of that group. We've got one more site council meeting coming up this year. That's going to be on April 24th. And at that time, we'll share the results from our WASC visit this year. And that's all we have for this evening. So I want to thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, please reach out. Feel free to sign up for that focus group. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you. Have a good night.